obviously it wasn't a good night for me. It was a pretty off night. Rollie did what he does. There's a lot of good power shots, caught me in the second round. But just even in the start of the fight, it just didn't feel like my feet were under me, like I had anything. But I tried to fight through it, and just found myself very off after the year layoff. That whole year, it was a lot for me mentally, as you guys know. So the fact that I got here is, and I'm in the position I am, my mind is as clear as it is a victory for me, I would say. But I'm extremely disappointed in the way I fought, and it definitely isn't my best in any way. But thank you guys, and I want to thank my fans and everybody that stuck by me, even though we took an L today, and the people that came to watch me. A lot of love is out there for me, and I think people know my heart, and know that I'll be back and better than ever.
Brian?
Yeah.
Just sort of your take on the whole scene. I'm wondering if maybe, had that been a full arena, maybe fans chanting, would it have done something different? It kind of seemed like a little quiet for what we were expecting.
Yeah, I didn't really, wasn't a fan of that at all. It felt like a sparring match, and it felt like you could hear everybody, and it just didn't feel authentic to me. But, no excuses. It is what it is.
All right, right here.
Saquon Jones with the Boxing Voice. You threw probably like less than 30 right hands the whole fight. Can you walk us through what the game plan was? Why did you not throw as many right hands the whole fight?
I mean, that's just part of just me not, being as sharp as I could be. I just didn't really throw anything, to be honest. I mean, I was just throwing jabs and moving around. I just didn't feel there, didn't feel there at all. And, it wasn't part of our game plan at all. Derek had a great game plan. There was a lot of opportunities there, especially when Rollie is going back. I just didn't let my hands go in any way, shape, or form. And that was simple as that.
Ryan Garcia with Fight Hype. Ryan, I just wanted to ask you, we just saw recently Tank and Lamont have a tough fight, and they had history. Obviously, you and Rollie have had some history as we talk about the sparring, but do you think that any of that history related to tonight's outcome?
No, I just think that Rollie's much better than people give him credit for, and he has very strong hands, just solid in general, so you can't just, walk in there and think you're just gonna get anything on him. He does hit hard, but I don't think the sparring played anything. I was just more of how this night played out. It just wasn't my night.
Do you think you underestimated him at all?
No, I always knew that he was going to be what he is. I feel like I fought the most dangerous fighter on the card. Anybody with that type of power is obviously somebody you got to watch out for. But I've always thought Rollie was going to be Tank. Just think I just didn't do anything I should have done tonight.
Radio Ryan down front. Do you feel now in this moment that a rematch with Rollie is more important than a rematch with Devin, or vice versa?
Oh man, that's a good question. Whenever the fans want, if they want me to, run the back of Rollie, let's do it. If they want me to go straight for Devin, let's do it. Styles make fights, I'm willing for any of them again.
You're commended for the way you conducted yourself in the build-up to this fight, so the outcome's a bit ironic. What do you feel like you need to change? Is it in the ring, outside the ring, to build up to whatever the next fight is?
Right. I think it's just both, combination of both. Throughout the camp, just couldn't get anything going. I felt for myself in training camp. I didn't feel like I had more conditioning or more energy or more sharp. I just feel like I couldn't. Nothing was progressing in any way, and I just felt weird and off. And I would mention it to Derek, and we were just trying to figure it out, But we only had 5 weeks together, it's just one of those things where I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I can't get no, aggressive, sharpness coming into camp. I don't know why it's not picking up, but we still were confident. I mean, we're still training. It's just nothing clicked. It just nothing was clicking.
Last one for me. You've been knocked down and gotten up before. Is this the hardest you've been hit at 147?
No. I feel like the most I ever been dazed was with Luke Campbell. I was actually dizzy with Luke Campbell getting up, but with Rollie, I wasn't dizzy. I was just like, oh, there it goes again. All the cameras again. But it doesn't really I don't really get too out of it. I'm just right there. It's always a flash knockdown for some reason. I get right back up. But he had potential to hit the hardest though. He definitely had some power on him.
Ryan, do you feel like maybe the ring rust and obviously the whole situation you're going through with with Devin caused a little bit coming to the ring, worrying about that in the back of your mind?
It was just so weird because usually once you step in the ring, everything fades away. This time I went into the ring and I could hear everybody, Shakur, Richardson, everybody just screaming stuff, and I'm just I don't know why I didn't zone it out. It was weird. It just felt like a weird fever dream just happened. It was just so awkward. I don't know why. Usually fights don't feel that way. It just feels like you're in it and you're fighting. You don't hear nobody, nothing. So yeah, that was a little bit different for sure.
Ryan, Mariano Agnew with the final bell. Just curious as to how you felt at the weight, and regardless of who you fight next, do you think you'll stay at welterweight and campaign there?
Yeah, I feel like I'll stay at welterweight. I felt like I don't really feel too much different because I walk around 160, so it's not really too much of a difference for me. But today I didn't feel good at all, obviously.
Yeah.
But as far as did I feel any different? Just weight wise, maybe a little slower.
Yeah. And if it's not a rematch with Devin or Rollie, would you consider Conor Benn, since he's also coming off a loss? It was a good performance, and you guys are both very popular.
Like I said, whatever the fans want, man.
Yeah.
I've always been open to fight anybody, so however the fans want it.
Okay, last one.
Your response.
Yep.
I have a question about now the walk entrance. You came up in the car. Now the question is, what was warm up before the fight? Getting into, it was at the hotel. You guys warming up.
Yeah, it was at the hotel.
How long did it take from the hotel getting into the arena? To the ring.
It's
Stop where the fight was at.
It was kind of it really didn't make sense because one of my big concerns was ice him down.
Exactly.
Cool him out. I talked to him about it. Too much time in between us working out. You're supposed to stay fresh.
Yeah, you gotta be fresh. You gotta warm up.
I'm not saying that's the reason. I'm just saying that that's the icing you out. It's too much. So yeah, well, you can go ahead and answer, but I talked to him about it.
It was
Even
30
before, I
minutes.
said we gotta get it going because he's
cool down.
I didn't know. I thought it was closer to the arena than because I didn't really watch the entrances and how long it was taking. I was just kind of watching the fights, but I was like, damn, I'm in this Batmobile forever. And the gas smelled crazy in that vehicle. I was just like, dang, it's taking forever. But
It's only put on an amazing fight. We all know that.
Yeah.
Both of you guys. He caught you right there in the second round.
Yeah.
Ryan, he was off, like you said. He was off.
All right.
Ryan, when you're pursuing Tank Davis, you sound very different. Do you feel like you have the motivation to pursue fighting at the elite level?
Of course, we all go through these moments. So it's still a fresh wound. I just lost. I'm not gonna sound excited to go after anybody right now. And I had an extremely off night and fought in my eyes horrible. So I'm not gonna be sounding any type of happy in any way.
Ryan, in the Devin Haney fight, you was, I don't know, off the script, maybe a little unprofessional, quote unquote crazy, whatever, but you one of the best you ever had. And now you're just really calm and chill and this and that. Do you think you kind of really go to I need to turn back up, get my fire back a little bit, drinking?
Tequila helps you knock people out, right? That's funny, bro. Imagine just knock out tequila and start a brand. It's just I gotta figure it out up here. Mentality, Cause there's times where I felt like I fought good and I wasn't acting like that, right? You know, just a lot of stuff I gotta figure out mentally, and then I'll get back to it, and you'll see that aggression come out. I just didn't have that, you know, tonight. I just didn't have that aggression to go kill. You know, you gotta have that in the ring. Just didn't have that tonight, so we'll figure it out.
Thank you, everybody.
I love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys.